Okay.
Hey, and we are live. I always wonder if the internet's going to work or not, but it does.
Love
We
that.
are here with the one and only Noah of Noah's Brisk Reviews. He is an international man of mystery. Don't even know what his last name is.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
he is calling from an undisclosed location and not in his home.
An
That's true.
undisclosed look.
I like to stay very private. I booked a hotel room just for this. So, uh,
You, you can't even narrow it down to a state.
well, I'm in Spokane, Washington. If anybody wants to come to Spokane, Washington, I yeah, I work on this side of the state a couple times a month. So usually I live closer to Seattle, but sometimes I'm on this side of the state for work because I got some offices and hospitals that I work with over here. So that's why I'm here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what are you reading right now? As if I didn't ask this question like a
Well,
minute ago.
Yeah.
before we ask that, Mike,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you want to tell people what it is Noah does?
Uh, yes. Noah, tell us what you do.
Yeah. I'm basically a book reviewer and recommender on Instagram. That's what I do. I've been there for about a year and a half. Little over 10,000 hard-earned followers.
Wow.
I've tried to grow it very organically. I do a lot of indie stuff. Work with a lot of indie authors on promoting their books and hyping them up when I like the book. And yeah, but I do a good mix of traditionally published stuff and indie stuff. And yeah, just over time, I've just been making reels for about a year and a half. I try to post one every day, no matter what it is. I've been a reader my whole life, so I have a long list of books to pull from when I do recommendations or comparison reels. So yeah, I just have a good time there.
So Greg Terrell is throwing down the gauntlets. Says you're not the real Booksta bro.
Oh, okay. Who's the real bookstore bro?
I mean, that's what you have listed. So
Yes. Well, so I'll say this. I don't know who came up with the term bookstore bro, but I've been using it since I started there, and I don't give anybody crap if they use it. Don't give it back. That's all I say.
So EL here has 8 books that you should have to read, and
Oh,
th-
perfect.
then he throws some shade and says 9 if Roe would finish up editing it.
I've
Um,
had it for like 5 days, if that. So
and he's doing okay as long as it doesn't hit that dreaded 500-page mark. Then he can totally quit after that.
uh, um, you know what? It does. 529.
Uh, so Noah, you're
Yeah,
book reviewer. What do you think about people who have a hard and fast rule that they won't read books over 500 pages?
You can
I
say
think
the
that's
dicks.
that's a stupid rule.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We got to go.
It is kind of a dumb
I
rule.
mean, all my
Absolutely.
favorite books are over 500 pages. I don't know.
Oh God.
I don't know how to answer it. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I like a book under 500 pages. I can finish it in a day or two, but I like the long ones. I like the long ones.
And what are you reading now?
Right now, I'm reading a very long one. I'm reading Alchemized by Sin-Lin Yu.
Yeah, and how many pages?
It's over 1,000.
Oof.
Yeah, I think I got like 200 pages left, so we're getting close. I'm hoping to finish. I'm hoping to finish tonight. After this, it's only 4 on the West Coast, so I still got all day ahead.
Yeah. The Greenbone Saga.
Oh,
How many books do you read in a given week, month, year?
I average between 100 and 120 a year. So, and that's been most of my life. I've been a big reader since I was very young. So I've just always read a lot. That's my main hobby is reading.
That's 2 books a week, man.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's crazy.
That sounds. I mix physical and audio. I drive a lot for work. I travel for work, so I get a lot of time on audio and a lot of time on airplanes to read, and then in hotels to read, and and I think I just read kind of fast. I didn't realize that till I joined Bookstagram and started doing stuff, and people were like, "Are you actually reading books?" I'm like, "Yeah." I am.
Especially if you're reading big chunky books, right? I mean, it's not like you're sitting there reading 50,000 word,
Yeah.
romance or whatever.
Yep. So I will say I'm very behind. I always have been on TV and video games and movies, just because like my main entertainment consumption is books. So
Good man. Good man.
my wife goes to bed, my kids are in bed, I read. I read during lunch. I have my little Palm Pocket Kindle and my regular Kindle at home. So I mean, any chance I get, I'm usually reading, unless I'm scrolling on Instagram or something. That's new though for me, so that's kind of slowed me down.
So what's the last movie you saw in a theater?
Oh gosh, I saw the Return of the King 20th anniversary re-release. When was that? Like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. That sounds right. Maybe 2 years, maybe a year ago.
God,
That was the last
been
movie I saw
20
in
years.
theaters. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the last movie. I'm pretty sure. I don't count movies that I see when I take my kids to go see movies, because
Right.
when I take my kids to movies, I listen to audiobooks.
That's how old are they?
I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Oh yeah, that's a good move then, because you're watching horrible movies.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah,
Multiple
right, exactly.
times. Yeah.
So I will just tell you that I always tell people my rule is I won't read books over 500 pages, because if it's longer than that, they just need a better editor.
Okay.
So, and I am living in fear, because I have 4 books written in my fantasy series. It's going to be 7 books, and I don't think there's any way in hell I can keep book 7 under 500 pages. So I'm just going to have to quit all social media once that is launched.
Yeah, or you just find a good editor. You need a good editor, right?
We'll see. I don't think my editor will commit to that, though.
Yeah, I mean, some stories, like my thing with books is like, one of my favorite part, like I love characters. Like, characters are important to me. It takes a long time to develop a character, I feel like, at least to get to the point where I'm happy with that character. And so I feel like that extra time with the character, even there's stuff that people think is like monotonous in books, or they feel like it's a tangent or something. But for me as a reader, like, that's something that I really enjoy. If it's done well, if that character work is done well, I feel like I'm getting more time with that character to connect with them and really like enjoy my time with them. So longer books usually tell me there's going to be some of that in there. And if there's not, you can tell pretty early if there's not going to be. So I duck out when I need to if it's a huge book. But I just really enjoy the extra time in the world. I enjoy the extra time with the characters. If it's done well, I mean, write as long as a book as you want.
Is there a character in your vast reading history that you go back to and like reread?
Yeah, Dritz Jordan is one of my favorite characters of all time. I grew up reading a lot of Dritz, and then also I love Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time was a book that I've read my whole. Here, look, I got a Wheel of Time tattoo. I've listened to Wheel of Time since I was a kid to an adult. I've read Wheel of Time. Those characters are so important to me and so like integral to my like fantasy brain. But like Randall Thor and Matt Cawthon, those are like 2 of my favorite characters ever. I judge everything by those characters, and also by Dritz. Those are like my 3 that I love. So sorry, Mike.
Okay, well, the next question, to see if I just storm out of the room or not, is what are our thoughts on Joe Abercrombie?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
I think I enjoy Joe Abercrombie's books, but I don't recommend them to everybody. I don't know how else to put it. I don't think his writing works for everyone. It's very specific, even from like series, like The Devils compared to First Law stuff. It's still, you can tell it's Joe. He's a very unique voice. Yeah. So for me, it works and I enjoy it, but I don't like die on the Joe Abercrombie hill like some people do.
So I read First Law and then the second book in that series, and I was so angry. I'm like, is there a plot anywhere? Will we ever get a plot? Is there a purpose to any of this? And I never read book 3.
Glock is the plot.
Yeah, so he can go some random location and torture people. Got it. And I talked to people who read book 3. I'm like, is there ever do Glockta and Logan Ninefingers ever meet? And they're like, no. I'm like, what is the point? Oh my God. I love his characters. I mean, Glockta, one of my favorite characters of all time. I really like Logan Ninefingers. And I'm like, put a freaking plot in there somewhere. And
so you'll find I hate saying stuff like this, but you will find a plot in his second series, Age of Madness. But I never want to like force people to say they need to read something to get to something good. I hate that argument because people use that to me with Throne of Glass all the time, which I hate. So, I try not to do that, but there is a plot in the second series. I like the second series much more than the first series and First Law. And yeah, Glockta sticks around. Spoilers.
Okay. So, and yes, this is my brother saying I'm always negative. And I do feel a twinge of remorse, which is hard because I'm Gen X, for some of the reviews that I left before I started trying to write. Like 2 typos in a book, 1 star. And I'm just like, oh my God, if I even knew what books those were, I would go back and delete those now because I feel so terrible. And then I just kind of shrug and go on with my life. But
that's what you can do. So do you read like a wide variety of stuff? Are you one of those people that will read anything that's put in front of you, or do you find, I mean, obviously you probably have your favorites, but having channels like that where you're reviewing books, do people send you stuff that you would never pick up on your own that you kind of feel obligated to read?
No, I've been at this point, I try not to accept stuff unless I know someone who's read it or the blurb like really pulled me in, or I feel like I'm going to like this book. I try not to force books upon myself just because I found early in my time on Instagram, you get to that like 2,000-3,000 follower mark and authors really start reaching out to you. And I just found myself like overcommitting to stuff and reading stuff that I wasn't really liking or finding enjoyment in. And then I just didn't want reading to become a job to me, because it's not a job, right? Like, it's my hobby. It's what I do for fun. So I will try other stuff. I will branch out from fantasy or sci-fi. But I mean, 90% of my reading is going to be within that sci-fi fantasy realm. That's just where I get my most joy.
So what other stuff have you read that was memorable, and that can be memorable as in this was really much better than I was expecting, or this was just a steaming pile of rubbish? And you don't have to name the books, but genre or whatever. Sure.
So one thing that was really new to me, and I guess this kind of falls under fantasy still, but I just I didn't understand the romantasy thing. I didn't understand that obsession, because it was just blowing up. It still is, but especially like 2-3 years ago. And so I just had this false assumption that I wouldn't like romantasy because I'm a male. And okay, Hannah, don't talk about Red Rising, please. So we can talk about Red Rising later if you want, but romantasy I just assumed I wouldn't like it. And I've actually found like a lot of really great authors within that genre that I've liked their work. And I recommend that stuff. Even something like I'm reading Alchemized right now. I'm really enjoying that book. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would be reading a 1,000-page, basically Hermione and Draco fanfic. But I did it. I read Manacled and I enjoyed it. Because people kept telling me to read it, so I tried it.
That's not really what it is it?
It is. It is. Not anymore. It was. Manacled is, but Alchemized. This is a huge conversation. Alchemized. Alchemist, I think anybody could jump into. You don't need the Hermione Draco thing. You don't need to have read Manacled. It's gone. She writes new characters that work on their own. The story stands on its own. I've really enjoyed it so far. But that's like one of those books that would not have been, if I wasn't part of like Bookstagram or TikTok, it wouldn't have been something that I ever would have read or picked up. So I have been surprised by stuff like that. And then I've also just been very disappointed in some traditionally published stuff that, I probably would have chosen to read. And now that everything's public for me, my reading and stuff, I'm like kind of worried to talk about stuff now sometimes because I just am not liking stuff that everybody's loving. And that happens. It's just interesting when you're in this space and you have all these opinions thrown at you, and you see what everybody else is saying. You're like, I do not feel that way about that book.
Embrace the curmudgeon. Embrace it.
Yeah.
I try. Have room for all the curmudgeons. Yeah. Join us.
Yeah, I mean, I do at times. I will be critical, but for the most part, if I don't really like something, especially indie stuff, because I read a lot of indie stuff too, like Kindle Unlimited. If I don't, I just don't talk about it if I don't like it. I try not to put, especially indie authors, on blast, just because I know how much work and love goes into that stuff. I don't want to be, I don't want 10,000 people seeing me talk bad about a indie published book that probably just didn't work for me because it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fair. I mean, that's a perfectly reasonable response unless the book's over 500 pages. And Wheel of Time, don't even get me started on Wheel of Time. You guys call 3.5 books the slog, and yet you still read. I don't understand.
I love the slog. It's not a slog if you read it all as one big book.
Oof.
It's just a little hiccup in the pacing if you read it all as one book.
So I am very
I'll
much
have to go back and reread that. I haven't read that since I was a teenager.
Just as good.
See, I basically have undiagnosed ADHD, so there can't be a pacing issue, or else I'm going to get bored and I'm going to quit. So,
So pacing issues for me are just fun obstacles in books.
They're side quests.
Yeah, exactly. It's like sometimes the side quests are fun, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
But, it's all about did you enjoy it or not?
Mike, how can you write in the fantasy sphere if you don't like the side quest, man?
Yeah, you need to be writing contemporary romance.
What's funny is that if I tell you like my 10 all-time favorite books, Lonesome Dove is there. Byzantium, which is like 1,000 pages, is there. I mean, all these things that I read, like, 20, 30 years ago, back when, I had a life in front of me instead of, waiting for that light that's dim to go out entirely now. So now I just want shorter books because I'm like, I don't know. What if I die and I'm in page 200 of an 800-page book? I mean, wow.
That's a wild way. That's a crazy way to live life.
So
it's really, really bad.
I mean, I could drop dead any minute now. You never know.
Don't do it while we're on air.
Yeah.
That would be awkward. Might get us over 500 though.
Maybe.
So,
yeah,
give it a shot.
That would get a lot of views.
Yeah, right.
Lonesome Dove is like 1,100 pages. I would just suggest you look back into your past and remember what you loved and try to embrace that again.
Hair.
You might find something new.
So, and the thing that just really gets me is like I start reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. Love it. Now the books are so long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you do?
They do get so long, but those are fun. That's fun side quests.
I still haven't read the last book, and by read I mean listen to the last
really
book because it's very long.
It is crazy long, and it's funny because I have a non-reader brother. I don't know how. We're two siblings. It's just us two, and he does not read. Even though we grew up in a family that read, I don't know what happened to him. He's got issues. But I bought him Dungeon Crawler Carl, and he loved the first one. He said, then he got to the second and the third. Then he started getting up to the fourth and fifth book. He's like sending me pictures of these books. He's like, what have you gotten me into? Because they were like 800-page books. I mean, he's all caught up now, but he was just like, he wasn't ready because he read that first one. It's so quick. You fly through it, have a good time. Then he was like, I'm just so stuck in it now. I'm invested in it now. I can't stop. I'm like, yeah, that's how it goes.
That was the same kind of thing when Harry Potter was first coming out, because I mean they were doing news stories about kids reading these, 600-page books.
That was me.
And
I was born in 1990. So I know, sorry. So I'm like, I'm perfect Harry Potter age. I grew up the same age as the kids in the books. So I was like right on that line. But yeah, those
waiting
books
by the door for your letter from Hogwarts.
Yeah, I was waiting, dude. No, it never came. Never came.
Bastards.
I know. That's okay. It's for the best. I would have gotten in trouble probably.
Slytherin.
I'm just thinking, when you were born, I was doing calculus.
I was married.
So my parents were married when I was born too. So it's,
Funny how that works.
Hey, there's nothing. Look, compared to most people who are on YouTube and Instagram, I'm pretty old.
Mike and I are there to keep you feeling young.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's our job.
We're skewing all the metrics.
I know. I usually like and save anybody I see with either no hair or gray hair, so it locks me in.
If everybody did that, Mike would be in business.
I need different opinions. I need to hear what the others think of the books. It sounds like I shouldn't be reading long books. I need to get ready to die.
Reading long books. Don't listen to anything Mike says. Just don't listen to him.
Yeah, he writes books over 500 pages. You can't trust him.
Tim, I read Tim
McKay.
Oh, yeah.
I read his book. It's very good. It was long.
So,
Like Tim, we're not young shaming. We're
sharing our wisdom.
Men.
Yeah.
There you go, Herman. There's a lot to go with that. Short book, nice. Here in another couple of years, I'll probably be down to short stories only. So
Look, I do like a short book. I take like 45-minute flights a lot from one side of the states to the other. And I really love, that's my novella reading time. I always try to grab a indie novella.
Like this one?
Oh, yeah, there you go. See? Let me write it down.
Oh, sorry. Proxima Station, if you're writing it down. Yeah.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. It's going to be coming out in audiobook, hopefully in November.
Ooh, fun. Anybody special doing audio or just you doing it?
Oh, God, no. I would never do it. I'm not crazy. Son of Sonnet is the guy's name. He's done Brian Asher's books and Bowen Greenwood.
Oh, I like Brian Asher. He's local to me.
Yeah. We had him on a while ago, and I just listened to Fear of Moncroy. Just finished that.
Yes.
And
did you like it?
Yeah. And I love the narrator. He does voices. I'm like, he totally is going to do my book. So yeah.
I'll have to check out the audio. Fear of Moncroy. I actually have like a print of the cover in my office, just because I love that cover from that book so much. It was awesome. I met him at Comic-Con up in Seattle. That's where I met Brian. Yeah, comic books.
So
there you go. Those will be short enough.
How did you get into book reviewing online? I mean, what were you drunk or what?
Yeah. So I actually, it's funny. I don't know if you know Joey. His handle's the Dragon Reread. He's on Instagram. I've just followed him for like a year, 2 years before I started my account, and I was just like lurking. So I would kind of like see his stuff, and I'd see him post like cool fantasy stuff. I'm like, I'm like, this is like what I read. I didn't even know like books still was a thing. Like I had 3 kids. I've been married for 10 years. It was like I'm out of the social media space like almost completely at that point. And I was just like kind of looking and stuff. Then I started clicking on Joey's stuff. Then I'd like go look at people who are commenting. I'm like, who is this? I'm like clicking on this stuff. Like, oh my gosh, there's all these people who like read books that I read. And so I was to that point where at that point in my reading life, so what was that, 2024, I was just like, I had been kind of felt fed up with big publishers, and I was getting kind of like burned on a few books, and I was just like looking like, is there anybody to recommend me anything? And then I was like, why don't I just recommend people stuff? Because nobody's talking about these books that I love from 5-10 years ago. And nobody's talking about like these few indie books that I really like. So I basically just started it off of like 2000 to 2015 sci-fi fantasy that nobody's reading anymore or talks about, and new indie fantasy. And it kind of just went from there. I just made a reel, and it got a bunch of views, and I was like, okay, I guess people want to hear about these books that they're not reading. And so I just kept doing that every day for a year and a half, and that's now I'm here.
So what do we like to read in general? What's your jam, like fantasy wise? Do you like the dark stuff, cozy, somewhere in between?
Yeah, probably somewhere in between. I mean, I love dark stuff. Cozy stuff, I'm hit or miss on. But yeah, I like a good middle of the road. Like if I was to take like 5 series that kind of like define me, it'd be like Realm of the Elderlings, Stormlight, Lightbringer from Brent Weeks, Demon Cycle, Peter V. Brett, and then let's say probably Tad Williams was a big one for me if I'm thinking like modern authors. But and those are all pretty just like standard epic fantasy, I would say.
Yep.
There's nothing like I'm not searching out dark. I'm not searching out cozy. If it's there, great. I like it. Like I do like darker stuff, but that's like if it comes to me. I'm not like trying to only read that or anything.
So I'm going to give you a book recommendation.
Okay.
So yeah. And it's just what I like. It's short, but there's like 10 books total in the series.
Okay.
The Book of Swords by Fred Saberhagen.
Oh, those are really good.
They are phenomenal. I love those books. The only thing that gets me mad is I'm like, you really should have written more in this universe. There's so much more that you could have told. And
what's the last name? Saberhagen?
Saberhagen. Yeah, it came out in like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, those have been around a while.
The first book is like 250 pages.
Oh, and I'll do that tonight.
And the last book, there's Creep, of course. It gets to like 350 pages for the third book in the Swords trilogy. Then he has the series of the Lost Swords that comes after that. But I mean, it's light, it's fun. I mean, he does decent character work. I love the world that he came up with. Just oh my god, wish he wrote more. So
yeah, that'll be interesting. Because one of my favorite things to do is when I'm reading, whether it be older stuff like this or just indie stuff, is I like to find comps and see like, okay, if you really like this book, like this is something you should definitely try. So I'd be interested to read this just to see like where else does this line up, like in books that I love or that I think people should read. So that's worth. I wrote it down. I'm gonna look at it after this.
First Book of Swords came out in 83.
83. So, hey, that is.
I was a teenager.
83.
Barely.
Oh, so is my mom.
We get it.
Yeah, no, 83. Good. I heard it was a good year. I heard that was a good year. So
great year for music.
I was gonna say great year for music. Absolutely.
Don't ask me about 80s music. I know nothing.
Makes me sad.
I just don't listen to the same music as my grandparents, so I just don't. I'm just not in that realm.
That's just fucking low right there.
Oh my God, Lucas is not even 30.
1996 is wild. That's a baby to me. No, it's funny. I have all these people. Obviously, I have like a very diverse group of followers and people who like comment, reach out. And I try not to do like individual recommendations anymore, just because my whole day would be spent answering questions from people. But sometimes like someone will say something really intriguing. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'll be like, well, let me go see what you're reading, and I'll go look at their profile, and it'll say like it'll say like 2005 up under their name, and I'm like, oh my god, what 2005? Like, and if anything, just so you know, people born in 1990 feel old too, because when I see a 2005, that's like, no, that I was in high school. That doesn't make sense. How can you be on Instagram? You're not old enough. You're not old enough to have a phone. That's how I feel.
So now, just to tell you the indignity that I have to face now, is they just hired a kid who started working in the lab with me. I started working at my company in 2002. He was born after the day I started working at this company. So I have been working there longer than he's freaking been alive.
So what's really funny about that is I'm that kid with what I do. So I work with a lot. I'm the youngest by like 15, 20 years on my team, and I have been for a while, and all these guys. So yeah, I get young shamed all the time.
Dimitri.
Better to be young shame than old shame, though. You know.
Well, I can't old shame 6 other people who are that make up the whole team and my boss. I just got to be like, yeah, I'm dumb. I'm young and dumb. It's easier.
Yeah. I can still go through a whole movie without going to the bathroom, though.
I can do. I can go to a movie. Well, not that I go to movie theaters, but I can. I can make it through.
They can't.
No, they can't. I know because we go to work events together.
Oh, this is going off on a weird trail.
So no, I'm going to try to reel us back to something close to normal.
Yeah, you do that.
Do you go to Comic-Cons often?
I did, and then I started having kids, and then I didn't.
Right.
But I started going a little more in the last couple of years. So I've been going back to Emerald City Comic Con, and then obviously Worldcon was just here, so that was cool to go to. But I try to go to stuff in Seattle and Portland when I can. I just don't. I don't make the big trips anymore. Like I can't go to Utah or down to Georgia or New York, or LA to go to that stuff. But hopefully, I'm just hoping some of my girls end up being nerds, then I'll just be able to take them to that stuff.
There you go.
That's on you, man.
Yeah, I try. I don't know what it is with kids, but somehow they already have decisions made when they're 5. But I'm trying. But I go to a lot of book events. Luckily, living close to Seattle, we get a ton of great book events, at local bookshops with authors coming in. So like I just saw Joe Abercrombie, your favorite author, a couple months ago. But Robin Hobb lives close to me here. Matt Dinneman lives close. Travis Baldry, Evan Lakeham. There's a lot of authors in this area. So we a lot of times get bigger authors that come see other bigger authors and they do events together. So, but that is something I'll always try to go to. So I try to go to like an event, at least 6 to 10 times a year, just to go hear authors talk and talk to them. And yeah, it's just fun. It's fun.
I went to Worldcon, and the first day I got there, like, oh, we're all going to this book signing. You need to come with us. And I'm like, no, I'm going to bed. And they like
Andy and Ryan's.
Yeah. And they just kept saying, yeah, you got to come. And I was like, I don't like Ryan stuff. I don't like Ryan's books.
Those are really long.
Yeah, I know. So, and I was like,
that really can't be the reason you don't like them.
No, they're slow. Again, ADHD. If you start like 40 pages of let's develop what this character thinks, I'm bailing. You better be stabbing something or blowing something up, or else I'm going to lose interest.
That's pulling me in. I'm like, yeah, don't tell me anything. Make me work for it.
So I have to tell everyone, Dimitri is here. He's my author for most of my book covers. He's amazing, and he's way, way less than you would think. You all should really look at him, give him a try. He's phenomenal. Most of the books up here above me are done by him. So should definitely give him a try. But anyway, had to plug Dimitri because he's here. I was going to ask you a question too, and I just
That's not
lost
what
my
you say
train
about
of
him when he's not here.
thought.
Just shit stirring Dimitri. It's all good. He's
Oh,
nice to
you were talking about hating Ryan. Let's talk about that more.
Well, I don't hate him. I mean, he is a wonderful, wonderful, lovely person.
Me and Ryan fight all the time, so you can say whatever you want about him. I don't
Now,
care.
I mean, I tried reading his book and I was bored. But I actually met him at Worldcon, and I was like,
Yep.
I know who you are. You have no idea who I am, and that's fine, you know. And we were just kind of chatting, and he's like, guys, he goes, I'm sorry, but you know, they're setting up for the big interview that's going to happen tonight, and they're moving heavy stuff. And if I'm not in there to move it, someone's going to hurt themselves. So I really have to go. So the guy is helping to set up for his own interview, and he's one of the talents on the main stage. And I'm just like, dude, I don't like your books, but you're wonderful. I did not actually say that. I did not tell him I didn't like his books. I just like, hey, go. I understand. So yeah, he is a sincere, wonderful person. I also talked to Shauna Lawless.
Did you follow him to make
Sean-
sure he was actually helping them and not just using that as an excuse to get away from you?
No, because
Yeah,
I had
Ryan was probably lying.
Yeah, I would have.
He's probably lying.
I-
Sean is great. Sean is fantastic too.
Shauna. I really liked her. I did not like her book, but I think she's a wonderful person.
I was just gonna say hers are shorter. You should.
I read the first book and I finished it. I'm like, this is basically a bunch of women stomping around Ireland complaining that men don't listen to them. There you go.
That's like
Sorry,
real
I
life.
ruined the plot. I'm like, it's 880 Ireland, so I mean, it's accurate, I'm sure, but I was like, I can't. I just can't. You need more than that. I need more than that. Plus, there's nothing gets blown up or anything. It's they talk about things happening, and I'm like, no, we need action here.
I love how. So a lot of these authors that you dislike, I talk to all the time. So I really like this. Because I was actually just talking to Ryan, like, I don't know, like 30 minutes ago. so we're trying
next
to
week,
set up.
Mike, when all of your books are like 1 star less than they are now, you know why?
Is there any such thing as bad publicity? Tell Ryan to rip on my book.
Oh, yeah, sure. We could. I can get Ryan on here for you if you want. You guys can go at it. Book length. His newest book is 1,100 pages.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't go to the gym either, so I don't have any need for a book that big.
Think of it like this. You could read one 1,100-page book instead of having to buy 3 smaller books. It's a dollar cost averaging kind of thing.
You know what I saw? I saw a really good point because Alchemize is really long. That's a big talk right now is Alchemize because it's targeted at these people who usually read faster paced, quicker romances or shorter books. And so there's all this talk about how big it is and everybody talking about how big it is. And then I saw someone comment, they said, I actually really appreciate that the publisher did this instead of splitting it up into 3 different books to release over the next few years. I was like, oh, that's a really good way to look at it. Because
especially with traditional publishing, because it will take 3 to 6 years to get them done that way.
Yeah, and Del Rey just put it out as one big thing. They could have easily made that into 3 books. It's 3 parts, very distinct parts in one book. So, yeah, I mean, I guess credit due to them. They did it that way, but I can understand why it would scare people off.
So, yeah, I mean, anything that can be used as a murder weapon, I mean, I got these behind me, so I'm good. I don't need more.
Pen can be used as a murder weapon.
Oh,
Gross Point Blank, baby. Great movie. You should watch it. That's all I'll say.
I try not to watch movies.
Good man. I don't watch movies either.
I watch Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. That's about it, if I'm being honest.
Which Star Wars? Oh, you were born in 1990. You probably watched all of them.
I love all Star Wars. Yeah, I grew up watching the original trilogy. And then I was a kid when the prequels came out. So obviously I liked the prequels because I was a kid when they were coming out. I was 8 when Phantom Menace came out. So obviously me seeing Darth Maul, I mean, I'm all in. So yeah, born at the right time, I guess, to like all Star Wars. I mean, yeah, there's stuff that's not my favorite, but I've always been a big like Star Wars reader too. So yeah, I just like Star Wars, man. I like Star Wars.
Okay, I did not ask Dimitri to ask this question.
What's that stuff
But-
on those weapons on the walls?
So those would be my books. If you get the hardbacks from me, I wrap them in the map where it takes place, and I have a custom wax seal for each of them. So, just saying.
And they're all under 500 pages.
Absolutely. Although,
Marketing is a marketing genius.
if book
Yes.
7 ends up over 500 pages, it's just going to have to be over 500 pages because whereas there's a lot of things EL and I do not agree on, he's absolutely right here in that the story is going to dictate the book and how long it is. So
I like EO.
don't say that. He'll go straight to his head. So yeah, and EL, it's been a month since he last published a book, so it should be another one coming out soon.
Okay, EL's a writer.
Yes.
Okay, does EL have an Instagram?
Instagram, I don't know. He's on Twitter.
Very
EL,
on
if you have.
Instagram.
All right, everybody in the chat who has a book, throw your links out there.
So if you're going to start,
I'll check it out.
if you're going to start with EL, I would recommend this book, Incident at the Peeling Head, but that's only because this character here is Mike Molman, and he's the villain.
Does he complain about the length of stuff?
He's a real bastard. Let me just say that.
Okay. Okay, I wrote it down. I like it. Yeah, no. If anybody has books, I'm writing anything I see down. So I do check stuff out. I know people are like, you just ignore me or you don't see my messages. Like, no, I see your messages. I just don't always respond.
So I wrote EL in as a lovesick captain who gets a Dear John letter and lets everyone in the spaceship die because he's too distraught. And so to get even, he made me just a real SOB in this book.
I like that.
Yeah. And now apparently I'm becoming his Kenny, like from South Park, and he's going to have a Mike Molman die in all his books. So
that's an honor.
We did notice a Mike Molman in the one I'm reviewing right now.
He says it's in there. That definitely is there.
It is. I don't remember what happened to him though.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you're not selling your editing work if you don't remember him.
I remember
EL
him being there, but the Mike Molman's always a very forgettable character.
Amen. Unless he comes up with hot takes, like book links, and Ryan Cahill can't read him. EL is very much dark. If you like dark stuff, you will like him.
Sure, yeah. I'm not against dark anything. Unless it's, I don't do well with the kid. I don't do well with the kid deaths anymore. The kid deaths get to me now. They didn't used to, but now they hurt.
Oh, EL will kill anything.
Okay. Well, no young blonde children, right? That's if I can put my daughters in anything, then I have a hard time.
If EL brings up like a puppy or a kitten or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can kill the cats. I don't care.
Hey,
easy. There you go. Hey,
easy.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Dogs, those are fighting words, but the
don't
cats,
kill the dogs.
sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
There, we found something to agree with, Mike. I'll unbox it and then hand that to you. Hannah does. Yeah, Hannah's start reading soon.
So Hannah did a silly thing, and she actually gave me her address. And I said, well, unless you stop me, I'm sending all 6 of my books to you, and I'll give I'll give the address to EL, and he'll send all 8 of his books to you. And she's like, sure, I'll just unwrap it. So yes, she's going to have.
Hannah loves collecting books, doesn't she? I got a lot of words
likes opening the boxes.
Yes, she does. I see Hannah pretty often. She's at pretty much any event that I go to. She's always late, so I hold her place in line for stuff. But yeah, she'll unbox them with her little hands. Yep. Me and Hannah are enemies. I like Hannah. I don't like Handa. So yeah, it's okay though. I let Hannah do her thing.
So I'm also going to be sending little swords for her little hands. So.
Oh, that's perfect. That would be good. That'll be good. Yeah, she does need more props. She needs to spice up the hands a little bit.
So she'll be getting a katana.
Oh, perfect.
And some other blades as well. So yeah.
I would like to. I want to see her open a box with those ones. Yeah.
So what are your plans for your channels? No.
Plans. I don't know if I've ever had a plan.
How are you going to do world domination from your Insta platform?
Well, I mean, I always say, like, as long as it's still fun for me, I'm going to keep doing it. Because again, it's not like this is an income source for me. I mean, I save some money on books, but I mean, that's really like the main benefit.
But then you have to spend money on bookshelves. So, you know.
That's true. That's true. That's why I buy the modular stuff, put them up on my shelves, put them up on my wall. So I keep it easy to add. But more than anything, I do it for fun. You know, there was no way in this world that I thought I would have this many people watching me do it. So where I'm at now, and still, I mean, it's still growing. So I don't know. I don't know what it looks like in a year. I don't even know if I'll still do it in a year, because I just like reading books. If it ever becomes too much or it doesn't work for me and my family, then that's it. You know, it's not my job. So
yeah,
right.
So I would just say bye.
So, without giving names, have you ever had an author or somebody just come like, "Hey, I sent you my book and you've not done a video for me"? Has that happened or something similar to that?
I guess I've had people like kind of be pushy about it if they've sent me something, but I'm always very, very clear when people want to send me a book. I'm like, I need you to know, like, there's a backlog. And you can send it to me now if you want to, but I may not read it for 6 months. And people act like some authors act like that's okay until you actually get their book. Then they want to know where the book's at. I'm like, it's wrapped up on my shelf. I'm not there yet. So, you know, but I mean, 95% of interactions with authors, if they send me something, like, there's 0 issues and they totally get it. You know, I have no problem with that. And that's why I've like stopped taking stuff for the most part, unless I really know I'm going to want to read it. If someone wants to take a chance on something, I just say, send me a Kindle code. Or if you have an audio, send an audio. Like, I'm happy to try it out, but I don't want you to commit to like spending money on me. You know, just in case I don't actually like it or want to read it. Because if I don't like it or don't read it, I'm not going to talk about it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will send books to just about anybody that has a platform, and they tell me the same thing. You like, I don't know when I'll get to it, and I'm like, if you don't get to it for 2 years, who on earth is talking about becoming a druid 2 years from now? I mean, it came out 4 years ago now. I mean, you know, that's fine. I mean, how am I supposed to get people to talk about it when it's that old? So I don't care. That's never been, you know, an issue for me.
Yeah, usually it's not an issue. I rarely do authors bug me about that stuff. I mean, I'd say I have more issues with actual other like reviewers and recommenders than I do with authors ever. So yeah, I never.
What issues do you have with
authors
them?
are great.
Yeah, what's wrong with Hannah?
Nothing wrong with Hannah. It's Handa that I hate. It's Handa I have an issue with.
What kind of issues, seriously, do you have with other? I mean, could you?
I mean, just like I mean, look, end of the day, I'm there for fun. Some people aren't there for fun, it seems like. So it's just a different mindset, really. I've just kind of butt heads with some other bigger creators just because I see some like shady stuff that I don't like, whether it be like buying followers to get free stuff from publishers or trying to charge indie authors for reviews, stuff like that. Like, that really rubs me the wrong way, just because I don't feel like it's genuine, and it's all just, you're basically just conning indie authors. I don't really care if they con traditional publishers, honestly, but it's still scummy. It feels scummy to me. So, especially if you're coming at indie authors and stuff, just so they know how much work, because I talk to so many indie authors and I know how much work goes into these things. And I hate when an indie author sees someone with 30,000 fake followers and they think that this person just has 30,000 followers, and then you go click on their followers and they're all hidden, then it's like, oh, why would you hide who's following you? Probably because they're bots. So yeah, stuff like that rubs me the wrong way, and I call people out on it. So
Noah, here's the question. I was on a streak. It ended finally. It's very sad, but we're going to start the streak
thought
again.
we were going to make it through without it.
I'm going to ask a question. There's one correct and one incorrect answer.
Okay.
And most people agree with Roe, and they're wrong.
Okay.
So I want you to envision going down the main drag of your city. You're in a saddle. Now, this saddle can either be on top of T-Rex or a griffin. Which one do you choose and why?
A griffin.
You're wrong, but go on.
Because that's just cooler. Like, if I'm on a T-Rex, I would need if I'm on a T-Rex, I'm up too high. I'm going to need like a gun or a long spear or something. That's not really my jam. I want like a sword, maybe a shield. And that's like something you can do off of a griffin. I feel like you're at head level for guys, so I'm just thinking like practical battle wise. I get the advantage of being on a T-Rex, and why you could just stomp through guys. But I mean, where's the honor?
They're villains. They don't need to be honorable deaths.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're absolutely right, Noah. That's absolutely right.
I would attack my own town. I would never attack my own town, Julia.
And he dies on every one of them is the thing, Hannah. He doesn't defend any of them worth a damn, but he bleeds all over them.
He's like, I have no reason why this is the right answer, but it is. I have a friend like that.
It's self-evident. I mean, how can you not see it? Have you read the Dresden Files?
I haven't. My wife loves the Dresden Files, though.
So there's a scene where he's actually on the T-Rex Sioux that's in the Field Museum in Chicago. He actually rides that into battle in one of the books.
Okay, see, so I grew up kind of close to Chicago, and so Sioux's very important to me. So if you said, can I ride on a reanimated Sioux, that would be a different answer. A T-Rex versus a griffin. Like, that's cool. Like, if a necromancer or something, like reanimated Sioux, got those bones moving, man, like, I'm in. That's way cooler. So I mean, if that was your question, then yeah,
to be fair, that would be pretty cool.
See? That's it's just changing that mindset. The problem is, to build up that and like make that make sense, you probably need longer than 500 pages in a book to explain how this happened.
Yeah, and if you need more than 500 to understand what's going on, then, yeah, I can't help you. That's just another hill I will die on.
Man, you must really hate Brandon Sanderson.
I read Mistborn, and when I was done, I was like, you could cut 300 or 400 pages from that and just be a tighter, better story.
Era 2 is very tight and very short. Mistborn, and it's better than Era
2?
1. Era 2 Mistborn. Wax and Wayne, man, those are my boys. It's better than Era 1. It's shorter than Era 1. Well, there's 4 books. It's probably longer as a whole, but they're split up better. They're tight. I'm a big Era 2 fan. Come on, like cowboys with that. Just think about like cowboys kind of in like a steampunky setting with that like cool magic system. Like, it's a good mix. It works.
So steampunk drives me nuts because I love the aesthetic. And every time I've tried to read or watch a movie, and I'm like, I hate every single one of them. And I'm like, surely someone has to have a good steampunk story somewhere, and I just have not found it.
So I will say, so Mistborn Era 2 is more like steampunk Victorian aesthetic more than like plot focused. Like, it's not really, it doesn't have that like, that steampunk feel. I mean, it has the feel. It doesn't have like, it doesn't feel like that's the point of it. It's just the setting.
Right. So,
but yeah, I get where you're coming from. Steampunk. I mean, I don't know. What is a good steampunk book? I don't know.
I have not found one yet.
Oh, Tobias, you should read Era 2. It's better. Don't listen to anyone who tells you otherwise. I will die on that hill.
Studio Ghibli steampunk.
Okay. Not steampunk, but it's got the vibes. I guess. I think you're confusing steampunk with like Victorian. I think those are easy to mix up just because a lot of that steampunk is Victorian inspired. So when you see that Victorian like there's a specific Victorian look or tone or kind of color palette, and that can easily be, like that goes steampunk in your head. I can see that maybe being the confusion, because I don't think Studio Ghibli's steampunk. Unless I'm missing something.
Okay, Bone Shaker then. How about Bone Shaker, which I also have not heard of.
I've heard of that. I've heard Charlie Priest before. I don't know. I haven't read anything though. Wrote it down.
How long a list do you have on any given day of books that?
Of books?
Yeah.
I probably between 5 and 10 a day. I'll look through and read blurbs for, just to kind of build up my month and what I want to read. So I just always try to stay on top of it. I don't do all this stuff like publicly on Goodreads or anything, or like Storygraph. Like my TBR and stuff, I just keep on my own, like in my phone notes. But if I see something that looks interesting, if I'm like looking on Instagram or somebody mentions something in a comment, or even like, like just today, just right here, people have been saying stuff in the comments. So after this, probably at some point before I go to bed, I'll check Amazon, look at some reviews, read some blurbs, and if something looks good, then I'll add it to my list. Hopefully get to it at some point. I don't read horror books.
Smart man.
I'll read vampire books. That's as far as I go on the horror side, mainly.
Oh.
I don't mind horror elements. I don't read horror books necessarily.
So I know if you've read a book and you're just kind of like, not really digging this, you won't do a review on it. Will you still post like a Goodreads, or is it just that goes in the no one needs to know?
Usually, if it's middling, I will probably still do a review, just because if I'm like in my mind thinking between like the 2.5 to 3.5 star range, usually that's just personal preference at that point. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the structure, nothing necessarily wrong with these characters. It just may not be to my taste. So if I feel like it's something that people would enjoy, it just didn't work for me, I would definitely review it and talk about it. And I'll pose it that way. I'll mention like, this just didn't work for me, but I can see why this would work for other people because of this book or that book, or why you would like this. But there are books that I read that I just, if I don't finish something, it's usually just a wash. I just won't talk about it, post it anywhere. Unless it's like a notable book that is either really popular or people are really curious about. As long as it's traditionally published, I will post about it if it's in that range. But anything indie or hybrid, and if I don't like it, I'm just not going to talk about it, just because I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
There's enough of those people.
Pretty common way of doing that, I think.
Yeah. It's just like, I want my play. I mentioned on my page, multiple times, because I try to do like reintroduction stuff or talk about myself sometimes, and it's like, when you come to Noah's Brisk Reviews, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, like, I want you to find books to read. I don't want you to find books not to read, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I want people to come in and find stuff to read. Not that I can't. I'm happy to argue about books with people, but like, if someone's just scrolling on Instagram and they find me on Reels or something, like, I want them to find a bunch of stuff to read. I don't want them to find a bunch of stuff they need to take off their list or don't read.
What do you think when authors say, "I'm an acquired taste"?
No, hold on. No, thank you. Oh, you're fine. Sorry, I got housekeeping. What time is it? It's 5. It's 5. Who does housekeeping at 5?
It's really Hannah.
Yeah. Oh God. I guess it could be. No, she's on the other side of the mountains. I'm safe.
If there's a little hand coming underneath the door, I would be scared.
Yeah, I would too. Okay. EL says he's an acquired taste. Listen, acquired taste. This is what I love so much about the indie
That's
authors.
right, Julia. She can subscribe. That would be great.
Let's get housekeeping join the stream. No. No, we don't do that. what I like, El just said he's an acquired taste. I like that a lot. That's what like got me into reading indie books, just because I felt like they weren't trying to be like Game of Thrones. They weren't trying to be Brandon Sanderson. They're just like writing what they wanted to write. And I, you can like tell when someone's doing that in a book, you know, you can tell that they love writing the story they're writing. So acquired taste is sometimes a good thing. El.
Oh, again, don't tell him that. His ego is going to be so big.
I haven't read anything yet. Wait till look. If you never see me talk about him again, then that's
ouch.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah. So, do you want to ask your Star Wars question, Ro?
I was going to say I only have one more question, and that's just to get your take on the Darth Jar Jar.
I mean, it's a fun theory. I mean, I'm not against it. It makes some look. If you watch enough YouTube videos, it seems like 9/11's fake. So I think anything can be like. I could be convinced of anything. It's just, you know, do I want it to be real or not? Yes, I do want it to be real. Darth Jar Jar, I really do. Do I think it is? No, probably not. But it'd be great. It would be great. It's a better storyline for him.
You know, I would see that movie.
Yeah, it's probably awesome. It's probably awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Darth Jar Jar. I'm not saying I buy into it completely, but I like the idea of it. I love like non-canon Star Wars stuff. You know, that's like one of my. I love Thrawn. That's like, and he's canon now, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've been a huge Thrawn fan forever. So I mean, I like the stuff that may not be canon. If somebody wants to write Darth Jar Jar, like I'm reading it. I'm reading it.
I love the Thrawn trilogy. Read that years ago, but yeah, good stuff.
Yes, Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's my boy. I got my Chimera tattoo. Everything. Thrawn's my favorite Star Wars character of all time.
Yep.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, you're missing out.
See, I always tell
books
people
under 500 pages.
Timothy Zahn wrote that. I always tell people that that's like the pinnacle of where I'd want to be, because when he goes to Comic-Cons, he charges $25 to sign up to 4 books. So to be able to command that, but if you went like walking down the street and you passed him, you'd have no idea who he was. I'm like that. Yeah, that is the level that I want, where you'll pay for my signature, but you'll never recognize me.
It's like Scott Lynch. Nobody would know who Scott Lynch was if he was walking down the street. It's, you know, there are authors who are just like that, where it's you just don't know. But yeah, Thrawn. If you haven't read Thrawn, anybody here listening, anybody who hasn't, that's Star Wars at its finest. Timothy Zahn and Thrawn, so good, all of it, non-canon stuff and canon stuff. I like all of it.
So when he wrote it, that was supposed to be the last 3 books in the series, and then Disney said, no, we can make abysmal products that people will pay for instead. And so they said it's no longer canon, and they made terrible movies.
All right.
Those would have been my preferred movies. My daughters love Rey, though, so it's very hard for me to talk bad about the sequel stuff. So it's like
understood. You are forgiven.
Like I know my kids are gonna love that. I mean, it's fine. I like Kylo Ren, but yeah.
Ugh, really?
Yeah, I think he's great. He carried that trilogy. He's the only good character.
I only saw the first movie, and that's when I was like, okay, they got a discount Darth Vader. I was like, no, I don't like anything about this movie, and that's the last Star Wars I saw, and I'm like, I'm done with the whole series.
He just went, you know, the Jedi are everything to baby killer really, really fast. For no particularly good reason. It was kind of like
I need the Knights of Ren movie. I need to know what happened to him. That's what I need. Second one's really good though. You might like it because everybody hates it. Last Jedi. Everybody hates that one, but that's my favorite one of the new ones because it's the dumbest.
Oh, is that the one where Luke doesn't want to be found, but he left the fucking map?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's just like I like whatever Ryan Johnson, whatever, just like decided, no, I'm gonna do everything opposite of what people think they want for this movie, and I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I just would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the editing room when they say, let's leave this bit in about him, getting green milk out of this thing and drinking it because this is important to the story.
I have a picture of that on my wall. I have a picture of that on my wall framed in my office. I'm drinking the milk.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. Wow. I wish I could show you, but yeah, I think it's so funny.
All right, that's a good place to end, I think, with everybody's mind's image on that.
The random casino planet. Hannah, that was the best part of the whole movie. Don't talk bad about the casino planet. I love when they save the horses, dude. That's such a good side quest.
Oh, Mike.
Yes.
And everybody listening, I guess. Our next show
yeah.
is the 6th of October, which is next Monday at 8 p.m. And it probably should be much later than that. We have, for the first time ever on Bald&Balding, and Noah, you can tell us if you've ever read any of this, the very prolific, I got to scroll down and find his name again, sorry.
Sounds so prolific.
Very prolific Jeff Burns, who writes comedic erotica.
No. Does he do the Shrek one?
Again, he has over 80 books.
So Noah, you should probably start at Princess Leia Orgasmica.
Is that really one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
hold on.
Not Orgasmica, Orgasma.
Oh, Orgasma. Sorry. Yeah.
Jeff.
I had to look up a couple of the titles, and thankfully, I did it on like incognito mode because the titles align with certain movies. Okay. They just sound like they should, right? So it's like, let me check this out. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Because the first hits you get when you type in some of those titles are not him, but they are rather sites that make you, there you go.
Yeah, so
here we go.
Okay. He writes under Riley Rose is his pen name. We have Little Red Riding Slut, Remy the Alien Porn Star. Yeah. So
I feel the need to explain that Mike and I actually had a fairly long conversation about this. And we were kind of like, well, we've never said that we wouldn't do this. So let's just see how it goes.
Yeah, it can't hurt.
I don't think we'll be doing a bald dome that episode.
Definitely not.
No, we're not shitting you, EL. This is real. So it could be a really fun episode. Who knows?
Hey, I mean, people read that.
They must if he's written that many of them.
Yeah, I mean, why else would you write 80 of them?
So to answer your question, EL, it's 8 p.m. on Monday.
Monday.
That's the only real time, Eastern Standard Time. So figure it out in whatever place you live in.
Yeah.
Oh, Eastern Time.
So we we'll see how that goes.
That sounds funny. That sounds really good, actually.
You're welcome to join us, Noah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. I'm gonna have to get a hotel room for that night so I can watch privately.
Well, we don't need to know. That's fine. That's all good.
I was gonna say, Noah, is your wife watching this by any chance tonight?
No, she's got 3 children.
When I looked at some of the books, I had to go back onto Amazon and made sure it didn't appear into like stuff you've looked at recently, because my wife and I share an Amazon account. It would have been really difficult to explain.
This is the thing about millennials. We just don't care. We're just like, whatever. You read what you want. that's what you like, if that's what's entertaining, go for it. I read spicier stuff than my wife. She doesn't like that. She's a mystery girl.
I have to say, though, I bet you when Jeff sits there and tries to think of what he wants on his cover, it doesn't take him nearly as long as it does me.
No. The main character in a lingerie with some wings.
You know, his big decisions are probably what color should it be. You know, so.
Riley Rose. Okay, I wrote down Riley Rose. I'm gonna
Jeff, if you're watching this, we're not making fun of you as much as we're making fun of us. So we will.
You're open.
One is 455 pages long. Well, Mike can read it then. EL, this is perfect.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's under 500.
I could. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Monday might be fun after all. Who knows? I mean, if we're having this much fun with it now, and Jeff's not even here, so
it might be so gripping you might finish it in a few days.
You know what's really going to be funny is that I have your address, Rose. So when those books show up to your name at your home address.
I have a young son. Right there, his.
I love it.
Anyway, Noah, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, of course, it was fun.
I'm sure Mike will send you every book of his that he has ever written or thought about. You could pick up one of these.
Hold on. I was going to write that down.
Yeah, there you go.
The Sigil of Enderune.
How long is it?
It's short enough for Mike to read, but he won't.
Okay.
So it's like just under 100,000 words.
Oh, to be fair, I read like 20 books a year, so not 20 books a month like Noah.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I only read 10 in September or in August. That's my lowest in a long time.
Oh, and that's 31 days, slacker. What are you doing?
I know. I'm actually. I was embarrassed
when you hit 10
by it for a second, but yeah, we. Well, once I start reading Riley Rose's stuff, I'm sure those numbers will go up.
Oh yeah.
Right there you go.
I'm gonna do my best.
So, and EL has 4 novellas out there, so if you read him, you could probably read each of those a couple of those in a day. So
yeah, I like a novella.
But again, EL's next one is 500 pages, so
that's fine too. That's a novella. 500 pages.
Only if they're very small pages. All right, so for everybody out there in Twitter land and here on YouTube, and we actually got one comment from Twitch. It looks kind of suspect, but
Oh, is that the one? Yeah.
I'm not going to click on it, and I'm not going to put it up there. But anyway,
yeah, click the link.
That's a start. So thank you all for joining us, and I hope you come back on Monday at 8 p.m. to see just how we're going to handle all this new territory for us after almost 300 videos.
Wait, it's about to be your new thing if you get like 300 viewers.
If we get 300 viewers, we will do that all the time.
Yeah, that's it.
We will totally change the format of this show.
Love
we get 300 viewers, Mike will wear a bikini while we're doing it.
He'll pose for the next Riley Rose cover.
I'll get a pole installed behind me. Yeah, there'll be art.
It'll have to be called like Lust in Hell or something like that.
Mm.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you joining us as always. Have a lovely evening and a good weekend. And if you are a government employee who's on furlough, you will get paid. Enjoy your time off.
Yeah, enjoy it. All right. Thank you guys so much.
All right.